Okay, we are back. Now we can continue installing that other seal. I found a better tool. Found this. This goes a little bit bigger than the actual seal, so it'll stop where it needs to stop here and will not push the seal too far. That was a rookie mistake. I just thought I'd stop on time, but I just messed it up. But good thing I had another seal in stock here. So it all worked out well. Yeah, even better with this side. It'll push it a little bit. Yeah, actually, let's do this side first. Yeah. Actually, this. Yeah, that's doing really good. Yeah. That drove in that seal really nice. That's it. Seal is in. Now we're gonna put some grease on that lip. That'll seal it off really nicely. Alright, so now I'm going to install the right side control arm and leave it hanging. But before I do that, I wipe off the surfaces where the bushing goes. And I will also spray some lube in there. Okay, also these control arms, I need to add some grease inside those bushings. Needs to be grease that does not react with rubber, because there's going to be rubber contact for sure. So I use the brake slider grease for that. Works really well, and it's not gonna let them seize. Not that they will seize. I will destroy these bushings in a couple years of off-roading, and they'll need to be replaced again. It's not for too long. And next time I'm getting urethane and see how long that lasts. Those bolts now. I'll wipe them down. And re-lube. It's ready for that. That's ready for that. Okay. I need to bang them in a little. Looks like that's one. And that's the other one. There you go. Some people would say that I shouldn't do any lubricating in there, because that's gonna make a move. But if I don't lubricate, they will seize. So I will just tighten them a bit stronger, and that'll prevent them from moving, and they won't seize. I'd rather them move, and I'd have to realign it, then they seize, and then I have to do a whole bunch of other work. It's easier to just line it up sometime. By the way, they haven't moved before. For me, I've had them tight for many off-road trips, and they haven't moved, and I was able to remove them easily because they were all lubricated. So whoever says that they need to get stuck and seized just don't really know what they're talking about, and they just want to be lazy and have them seized. But that's only up to a certain point, and then their laziness is gonna start eating their time, and they'll end up spending way more time than they have to. So yeah, you gotta choose what you want. I choose to have them lubricated and not having to deal with seized bolts. I want to make sure I can still move it. So I just head tighten it a little. Okay, that's grabbing already, so leave that. Yeah, it's grabbing, okay. So this is perfect, okay. That's it for that. Okay, now the strut bolt, also lube it up a little. Oops. Doesn't want to line up. That's okay. We can twist it a bit. Just usually take a socket with an extension and just move things around. Doesn't really work like that. Okay. I'll find a way. Oh, that seems to be working. Okay. There you go. There you go. Oh, but rookie mistake. The washer was supposed to be on this side, so it's got to come out again. This washer was supposed to be on this side. Oh, look at that. I was able to just push it like that. Okay, don't tighten too much because I'm going to have to tighten it when it's already standing on level ground, so that the bushing doesn't twist when I'm driving. So the bushing is in its natural position when it's tightened, and it'll flex only when there is suspension movement, but it'll be level during normal standing. Okay, so now we are just about ready to install that axle shaft. So let's go get it. Okay, so we got the shaft. We gotta lube it up a bit. Stick it in without damaging the seal. There you go. Gotta leave it here a bit. Gotta get the mallet to drive it in. I'm gonna use this plastic mallet so I don't damage the axle threads. It's not strong enough. Okay, I am going to use metal, but first I'm gonna put the axle nut on. So I just hit the nut, not the threads. That way I don't damage the axle and still able to install. There you go. Went in pretty smooth. Move it to see if it's in. It's all the way in. Good. Now, time to get that knuckle in. For that, we gotta lower the car a bit. Alright. So we wipe off the dirt. And then lubricate it with some grease. That's where the boot will be for the upper ball joint. The nut can now come out. So now I'm going to install this knuckle onto the axle shaft, and then I'm gonna connect the upper ball joint to it. To the upper control arm, yes. Okay, let's blow off some of that dreaded water that got on the shaft from the rain. Alright. Let's get that nut ready. And let's get some lube on that. Oh, I forgot one more thing. Let's go back to it. I'm gonna apply some anti-seize on those splines. It's not really needed for this system because it's all sealed off, but we saw how a little bit of water damaged the bearing, so we're gonna do it just in case, so that when the water gets in, doesn't really damage that doesn't, at least it doesn't grab those splines and they don't get stuck. That's heavy. All right. So, axle's in. Almost. There you go. Now, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to deal with that sealing of ABS sensor. So I'm gonna place a camera here so that you can see what's happening with it. I hope it's visible. Yeah, it's pretty visible. So here's our sensor with the O-ring and that plastic piece to keep the O-ring located in this place. And I've plugged the hole so that nothing gets in. Okay, let's see how the O-ring sits. Okay, it's a little bit too fat. That's what I figured. Uh-oh. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay. So we need a thinner O-ring. I'm gonna go look for one. I think I may have found one. Let's see. Okay, it fits over this all right. Let's see how it works. See if it goes in. Let's see if I add some lube, how it's gonna go in. All right, like that. Yeah, that's how it sits in its natural habitat, I hope. No, I think I need an even thinner O-ring. It would help if this sensor wasn't damaged like this. Yeah, it goes like this. I'm just trying to make it work because I don't have another sensor. It would be easier if I had another sensor. I would just use another sensor instead. But no, I'm gonna go look for an even thinner O-ring. I think I've found an even thinner O-ring, but it was also smaller in diameter, so hopefully when it stretches it becomes really thin and exactly what we need. Yeah, just like that. And hopefully that'll fit in. Yeah, that fit right in. Good. So now I pulled it out. I know it fits. I'm gonna add some RTV sealer in there, into that combo here, to keep it sealed. And I'll know I need this sensor, so maybe I'll get the sensor for the future. So I'll wash it off right now. Also clean out this hole where I lubed it up. Don't really need the lube if we're doing RTV. There you go. Went right in. Nice and smooth. Okay. So I hope it'll work out and nothing will leak in there. Not sure if that's gonna work, but at least I'm trying. And then for the next time I do this, I will definitely have another ABS sensor. Alright. I'll spray it with some film on top to make sure that everything is not rusting around and rust is not creeping in. Alright, so that is considered done. Okay. So now I'm gonna complete the whole assembly process. And then we'll see. Okay. Let's lift it up and start assembling the ball joint. Hold on. Before I do that, gotta spray it down with the film. All of this needs to mate without rust. I assemble everything with fluid film now. Yeah, those upper bushings are still tight. These have been on the vehicle since factory, and this vehicle has 773,000 kilometers on it, and they're still okay. I'm surprised. I've never seen, especially doing all this off-roading, never seen anything like that. Really high quality bushings on this. The lowers are not that great, but I guess they take a lot more load. They take a lot more abuse. So yeah, I first replaced them probably around 5 or 6 years ago, those lowers. So yeah, they did last 20 years, although the first 20 years were not that off-roady. It was the lately occurrence. Wow, I can't even put it on. Don't have enough force to put it on. I'll have to use stand here so that the lower goes up a little. Oh, maybe I can, yeah, if I move the rack over here, I'll have more movement. Yeah, I think it was the rack. Yeah, oh yeah, I can do it. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to lube up that boot surface where it's gonna rub on the control arm. So I'm gonna do that now. All right. Can't see where the cotter pin can go. Yeah, that's where it's gonna go. Okay. Oh, I think that's from the upper. Gotta get the car down a bit. Not entirely sure where I put the one from the lower, but it's gotta be somewhere. Oh, it's right here. It was hidden. Usually we use the cotter pins because they're not rusted. They're pretty good. There's no point replacing them. The only thing they do is protect from unscrewing, protect nuts from unscrewing themselves. So if you can get them in and they stay in there, then they're gonna do their job. Oh, this is lovely. All sealed up. Beautiful. All right, get the car down even more. Tighten the upper. And actually, let's tighten the lower ball joint bolts. I just ran them in with the gun, but the gun is pretty weak, so I gotta make sure they're tight. I don't do torque specs on these because this is my car and I know what I need to do. I know every aspect of it, and I know exactly how it needs to be tied to work. So that's what it's gonna be. Now, what are we doing now? Oh, the upper. I guess we're moving on to installing the other side control arm. And the rack. Okay, that's lubed up. Now the bolts. All right. Now there's going to be screwing around with this one. So we gotta get the rack down on this side. That'll bring it up on this side like that and give us enough room. There you go. Attaboy. There you go. Now the bolt itself. That's it. So the hardest part is behind. Now we gotta put the rack back. Don't need to have it off anymore. You can put that coupler back also. New coupler, by the way. Good. Alright. So rack and coupler going back. That's an exciting part of this job. Alright. Okay, so first we're gonna put that long bolt in. Gotta undo this strap. I don't know, no longer need it. The long bolt goes in. too. That's a big one. Somewhere on the table. Not seeing it. That's what happens when you have mass on the table. You can't really find anything. Oh, here it is. All right. Now one longer, one shorter. I think the shorter one was on the top because the bottom one looks pretty long to me. Yeah, looks about right. Yeah. Oh. Oh, no. That short one was completely different bushing. It was this one. And then this one had the nut and the bolt. Yeah, it's probably the same anyway. It's pretty close. Yeah. This is gonna have to be a manual. Okay, I've got it started. This should fit now. Oops. Oh, maybe I can put the socket on and then put the ratchet. No. It's gonna have to be manual, so I'll get a stubby. Oh yeah, okay. Good. Now, final tightening. See, this one's got caught on. Okay. Yeah, good. All right. That's okay. Now, gotta finish the tightening of this. All right. That's pretty tight. Whew. All right. So before we go any further, I want to add some grease to this CV shaft seal, since we've already got it all apart and it's now easy to be greased, I will just add some grease on those sealing surfaces so that it can last longer and seal better. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so now that thing is much better. Let's do that strut now. And my friend came to join our live stream. Okay, he brought his BMW from off-roading and the doggy. All right, that's gonna be exciting. He's got some stories from Ardbeg. He was just in Ardbeg. Okay, what is this? Oh, that's control arms that he broke. Okay, so he broke some control arms on his BMW, the rear control arms, and he brought them to show us. So let's see. We're gonna put them here on the table, open them up, and see how crazy he went. Keep in mind, this is a 2003 BMW X5. Ooh, he bent them. Oh. Okay. Oh, he bent only one. Okay, so it's not that bad. Just a little bent. I guess not strong enough. Those are custom with adjustable camber. He got them so he could adjust the camber on his X5 in the rear. And looks like they're not strong enough for off-roading. All right, well, luckily we were able to get some control arms for him, and he replaced them right there in Ardbeg, so, and made it back, so that's really good, and I'm really happy for him. He just put the OE control arms back on. So now I'm gonna make a little pause. You can, I guess you could enjoy the view of the taken apart suspension while I'm taking a rest and chit-chatting. injection oil. Не стираются? Я бы все подрегулировал. Зараз ми, наприклад, з'їздив туди, блядь, візьми то. Зараз за речагами виїздив. Я краще затягнув ті передачі на YouTube, знав би їх. І все. to work. I'm gonna get that bolt in. Ouch. Okay, so that's done. I guess we should install the sway bar now. Oh, not the sway bar. We gotta do that coupling, that steering coupler. Okay, so before I install it, I'm gonna put some fluid film in there on those splines so that they don't corrode. Okay. Okay, I hope I got it on exactly. Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't slide. Now, gotta get it onto these. These two. Okay. These two splines. Nope. Yeah, I think, yeah, this would be the right position. All right. This was easier than I had anticipated. Didn't expect it to be that easy. Oops. Okay. Installed. Okay. The sway bar goes in next. Once the sway bar is in, I can go start cleaning the brakes. Wow, it's going quicker than I had anticipated. Much quicker, in fact. Before I put it on, I'm gonna lubricate the bushings. For some reason, I got a set at some point, a set of those sway bar bushings. Those are urethane bushings. And I got one black and one red in a single set. So that's why they're different. I don't know why. Some kind of mix up. go. Oops. All right. Let's get it on. Oops. All right, got that caught. One of the brackets fell. Okay. Now the nuts for the links. Ooh, those are 17. Those gotta be really tight because they tend to come loose because they're so lubricated. But that's not a big deal. I'd rather it come loose than not come out at all. Okay. Now there is that pipe, the power steering line, that needs to be put back. Yeah. There, it's barely visible. It's right here. The power steering line that we loosened to get a good stretch of that rack. Oh, I got a phone call. Hello. Та яке спиш? Я ж тобі, ти що тільки що бачив, що я роблю. Ні. Зайди подивись. Ну. Давай, включай. А що вже сталося? Влупив? Він що, хоче все життя рабом бути, чи що? Ага, то Джета в нього влупила. Я тільки знаю. На підземній парковці вони обидва винуваті. Тому що це приватна власність. Вішатись. Я їх обох вітаю. Вони дуже прикольні пацани. Так. Давай. All right. Sorry for the interruption. It was my friend just calling to let me know that another friend got into accident. All right. Okay. So the line is now back in. Beautiful. Okay. So we're all done with that. We gotta tighten all of this when we do alignment. Oh, we gotta put the axle nuts on and close the covers. So let's start doing that. Start with this one. First, I'm gonna gun it on not so powerful mode, or actually on a powerful one. I'm gonna gun it first to seat it, and then I'm gonna loosen it and then torque it. All right, now I'm gonna torque it down. Let's check the specification. Toyota 4Runner, 173 foot-pounds. All right, let's do that. All right. All right, that's tied to spec. Let's put our holder. It's just a safety device to make sure that it does not unscrew itself, since it's all nice and clean and possible. There is a possibility of it coming loose. So it's going to be. Now we're gonna spray some more of that magic film in there, and then close the cover. careful. Moving on to the other side. The other bearing was replaced, so we definitely need to make it seat. Maybe I'll even tighten it a few times with the gun. Seems about right. I've had the wheel bearings coming loose because of that initial setting. I did not gun it first. I did just the torque, and it turned out to be not enough. I just started to spec and it didn't work. It had some free play. I had to retighten it. It was fine after, but now I do this just to make sure it's all seated nicely. Oh, beautiful. Now that's a different story. Oh, by the way, didn't check the other side. Yeah, beautiful, wonderful, everything. All right, now put the locking crown back on. Oh, this gutter pin might break now. That's okay, we'll find another one if it does. No, still good. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So now that we got it all assembled, I'm just gonna put on the calipers without rotors so that I can service them properly. If I just put them on without rotors in place, then I can just service them on the spot right here. Oh, I know why I can't turn the steering wheel. I gotta remove that belt because now we're all done with the steering and we need that wheel turned. So let's go and remove that belt. A bit too far. Now we will be able to turn that steering wheel. It's not going to be easy though. There you go. I love how it works now. Wonderful. Beautiful. Oh, I forgot to secure that thing. The ABS wire at the top there needs to be secured. Okay, so let's install that caliper onto the vehicle. All right, let's take the channel locks and see if I can press those in. Probably can. Yeah, I've just rebuilt them in May. have brand new boots and seals, and yeah, they work very well. Perhaps you'd want to see that. The reason I'm doing them one by one is so that I can move them in and out a few times, and that frees them up a little, because normally they're just standing and slowly moving as the pad wears. That makes them kind of like not really stuck, but like frozen in that place, and to get them to move you need to apply like more force. So now, as I've been moving, I could feel that they are now moving much easier. Yeah. So now I'm gonna clean out all this mess. There's really no rust, so I'm not gonna grind anything here. I've just cleaned them in May. But there's mud. So just to wipe with a rag is enough. To make them clean. Okay, so that's all good. Now I'm gonna lubricate where the pads sit, those areas, that same orange grease. I love that orange grease, it's very good. It stays there, it withstands very high temperatures. Also doing the pistons here. All right. So now I gotta clean those pads. I'm debating, well, maybe I should just replace them. But on the other hand, I can still do one more off-roading, one more trail run with those, or maybe not. Let me measure them. I want to see how many millimeters I got. If I got less than 3 or 3, we're gonna use new. So I got just about 3 millimeters here. Just maybe a little over 3. I'm using new screw them. I also do have those. Oh, there's all new brakes this time. That's nice. Yeah, I got the new Advix pads. They are the best ones I've tried so far. But for these new pads, I think I gotta push them in a bit more. Gotta get them in all the way. Alright, so I'm gonna lubricate the pads the same way, all the contact points. Make sure to not get any on the friction surfaces. This is the outer pad, because the inner is a little different shape. And it's the right hand side it says on it. So we're gonna put it in like so. Make sure it's all moving freely and doesn't bind up. It's gonna fall out. Yeah, it's gonna fall out, so I'm gonna put it in later when I'm ready with the pins. Gotta go clean the pins. Actually, I'll just wipe them because I've just cleaned them off. So just wiping them will be enough. They are not rusted at all. So I guess we'll do the inner pad now so that we can insert that pin. And we will pre-lube the pin in the same manner. we'll start. Actually, the pin goes from the out. Okay, great. Outer pad is already lubed. So we'll start with that. So we just need to get that pin a little bit in so that the pad doesn't fall out, and that's it. And we'll do the other side the same way. There you go. Now we'll lube the inner pad. And get one of these pins all the way in. You will know why later. Now we have this spring that we need to also wipe down from the dirt. The spring is very important here. This is the original spring that came with the vehicle. This is like a, what is it now, 27-year-old spring. That's perfectly fine. Gotta wipe out the contact surfaces, which are these, and here are the pins. It's gonna go like so. And that'll show us more contact surfaces on the pads, which is right here. So we're gonna lube those up. And the spring itself in those areas. There you go. Pads installed, and the spring keeps them apart, kind of. It keeps them placed in there, like so that they don't come out, and they stay in their right positions. Now we just gotta put the retainer on those pins so that the pins don't come out and fall off, and the pins, yeah, that's it. So this is how it's retained on these. Pretty easy. That's it. So this side is done. We're gonna pull the caliper off and install the rotor, and that'll be the end of it. But for now, what is it now? It's now past midnight, so I'm gonna finish this live stream and continue tomorrow, because you guys gotta go to sleep, and I also wanna sleep, and then tomorrow we'll finish up with the brakes, and actually I'll finish up with the brakes without the live streaming. I will put the live stream on for the more interesting parts. So have a good night, and I'll see you in tomorrow's more interesting live stream. Thanks for watching.